Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. An African nation seizes $1.9 million in gold in illegal mining operation. Let's explore. Yes, this is some pretty big news indeed. We all know that there are nations out there where there's illegal gold mining, and many times these governments kind of just let things go, or they get a kind of a kickback from these operations. And so it is certainly something that is a concern. We hear about this happening in some South American countries for sure, and it can cause a lot of environmental damage as well as health hazards. And so something that's very concerning. Well, hearing about breaking news about the Congo has seized $1.9 million of gold in the Okapi Wildlife Reserve. So they were doing this in a wildlife reserve. And a fascinating story indeed, and quite, I think, encouraging to see that there's a crackdown here. This is from June 22nd. Kinshasa says Congolese authorities have seized 31 kilograms of gold worth around $1.9 million in the Okapi Wildlife Reserve in the country's northeast, in a rare loss for smugglers who fraudulently bring tons of Congolese gold into the global market each year. And so you may remember I did a story about blood gold some time ago coming through the port of Miami. And a lot of this, again, was related to the South American market. And but this is gold that is mined in Africa. And a lot of it, tons of it have been coming through the global market each year from the Congo. Lieutenant Jean de Dieu Monsongolea Gala, head of the military prosecutor's office in Mombasa, said on Tuesday the gold came from Muchacha, which he described as a mine in the Okapi Reserve. Mining in the reserve, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, home to Okapi forest elephants and other endangered species, is illegal. But the Congolese mining registry shows Okapi covering a smaller area than on UNESCO's maps. 3 Congolese men were arrested, Musongela said, but another 2 men who were Chinese fled. And this is another side story here, is how much Chinese influence there is in Africa. They are really investing a lot in Africa right now, the Chinese are, and it is concerning. The 3 suspects were taken to the provincial capital of Bunia for further questioning. Not only are these people mining gold, they are also melting it, said Musongela, adding the authorities did not know the extent of the operation. In a report last week, the United Nations group of experts on the Congo said Muchacha is on mining concession PE 7657 owned by MCC Resources. The report said, citing photographic evidence, that members of the Congolese armed forces were on the Muchacha site in contravention of Congolese law. Interesting. MCC Resources did not immediately respond to an email request for comment. The mine is around 200 kilometers from the Ugandan border, through which most of the province's gold is smuggled. Denis Munsens Muteba, head of investigations at the Ituri Mines Ministry, said. The UN expert, who have reported Kampala is a trading hub for smuggled gold from Ituri, said large-scale smuggling along this route continued in 2020. Uganda's Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development did not immediately respond to Reuters' request for comment. Guilherme de Bier, a researcher at International Peace Information Services, said estimates show Congo produced between 15 and 22 tons of gold last year, worth more than $500 million, but levied just $72,000 of taxes. This means that 99% of the gold extracted in the Democratic Republic of Congo is smuggled to neighboring countries. Yes, indeed. So it's a real problem there, but this could be the first step in a real crackdown, and this may be a drop on the bucket as to how much of it is actually occurring and going undetected. But it just, shows you that, we are in a world of swimming in a world of potentially blood gold out there, and who knows what gold you may have that could have come from an illegal mining operation. But now there are ways, especially with technology, to be able to tell more now than ever before, but nonetheless, there's a lot of gold that hits the market that people really just don't know. And again, with some of these governments that are turning a blind eye or even sanctioning it to some point, it makes it that much more difficult. Very interesting story indeed. I think pretty big news to see that this has occurred in the Congo. And they received, and of course, that $1.9 million is not a whole lot of gold when you think about it, how much of it was done. It's only 31 kilograms of gold in this Ituri province. And, it was mined in a wildlife reserve, which makes it even more offensive in my view. But nonetheless, there it is. Fascinating indeed. It is, as the article said, a rare loss, but gold being mined out there in its various different forms is something that I think it's ripe for corruption, or could be, if not handled well. And but nonetheless, I think it's exciting to see new discoveries of gold out there, but it competes with the legitimately mined gold that is accumulated every year. So we'll see how this happens. We'll see if this is a beginning of a trend of cracking down on illegal mining operations, and maybe even some of these governments, finding ways to mine it and in a responsible way. And I think, I would not fault the Congolese government for finding parts of the reserve, and you could mine that gold in a responsible and environmentally friendly way from within the reserve and protect the species and the environment around it. And they could use it, and they help pay their, to become a more prosperous nation. Nothing wrong with that. But I think going about it illegally and unsoundly, that's going to cause health issues for the people of the nation, and for the miners that work those areas. And we see clear cutting and the like, and environmental issues that could arise, especially with mercury and some of the chemicals involved. It can cause much more harm than good. This image here shows this artisanal gold mine near Kamatuga in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo of 2018, in August of that year. There you have it. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Just thought I'd share this with the community. I would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.